well, thank you all for attending. We call this meeting to order. This is our monthly board meeting for the Alexander County School District. Apologies to all that had to move your schedules around. The meeting was originally scheduled for last week. Due to weather events, we had to postpone it, so my apologies to you. Before we get started with the pledge, I'd ask for a moment of silence for Jane Teague, who left us at the beginning of January, on January 4th. She invested over 30 years of service to our kids and our community and was a loved member of the team. So if I could have 30 seconds of silence, I would appreciate it. Thank you. And so we shall begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Attention, salute, pledge.
Hang on, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm so sorry.
We had originally scheduled to have 3 members of Taylorsville Schools provide the pledge. That's why you saw a little bit of, ooh, what's going on
Yes,
here?
yes,
And,
sorry. A little bit of panic. I'm sorry, Mr. Palmer.
We're good. Yeah,
Okay.
Matthew had us covered, and so thank you very much, Mr. Reese. And so as we go forward, what is the pleasure of the board with the agenda that was presented to you all?
I'll make a motion we approve the agenda.
Second.
So we have a first and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. We move forward with the agenda. So now we have honors and recognitions. Dr. Hefner?
Thank you, Chairman Arguelles, Vice Chairman Reese, and board members. Especially, I would like to thank those in attendance in this afternoon's meeting. We are going to start tonight's recognitions by recognizing our school board members. We begin this meeting because during the month of January, that has been deemed as School Board Appreciation Month. We are very grateful for the 7 members who have a passion for public education, and they provide leadership on behalf of our students and staff. A school board's role is critical to the success of the district. The responsibilities are varied and require planning, strategic thinking, and an understanding of the needs of children and the community. Key parts of a board member's job would include the following 4 bullets. Policy development. That means shaping and approving policies that guide the system's educational programs. Budget planning, which is managing the district's finances for the benefit of each child across the county. This responsibility helps meet the educational needs of all students. The third thing they do is they are involved in community advocacy. Elected board members are the biggest cheerleaders for the public school system. Engaging with the public and staff in positive ways helps build trust and collaboration. And then lastly, strategic planning. Working together to develop long-term goals and strategies for the district ensures a forward-thinking approach to education. Board members, your vision and dedication to continuous improvement shape the future of our schools and makes a difference in the lives of children. On behalf of the entire school district, I want to extend my appreciation to all of you. The impact of your service will be felt for generations to come and contribute to the success and well-being of students. Thank you for your service. And when I call you up, I would ask that you come and stand up here, of course, for a picture. But what you will find is just a variety of goodies from our schools. You will see a poster in the middle. Each of you, you have a pile of treasures. And those came in actually last week. And I hope the fudge is still good. I promise I did not sneak and sample any of the fudge. But I think that you will enjoy the cards and different things that have been made for you. You have T-shirts and just a variety of things. And I would ask you to wear the clothing items with pride, because you should be proud of this school system. So I would like to call you in order, starting with our new chairman, Robert Arguelles, Vice Chairman Matthew Reese, Board Member Scott Bowman, Board Member Josh Dagenhart, in front of where you would be seated. Anthony McLean, as you well know, is a state trooper. That's his real job. And last week, he had taken off to be at the meeting, but he couldn't get off for the rescheduled meeting. So Anthony McLean's not here tonight. Board Member Bridget Ryan and Board Member Ramey Robinson. I would just ask that we give them a big round of applause.
You're wearing your hat for the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'll take one serious and.
I started to say, now, I think she's gonna use this also on the website. Okay.
I'll get both.
Okay, good.
So, if one of you guys will on this side, so we have a balance. I was saying, yes, very good. Squeeze in and you guys angle your body, give you 45, other way, you go the other way. Yep. Angle in. All right. That was the hard one. Somebody's blinking. Okay.
Every time I feel like it's me.
Can they hold up some of their swag?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Hold it up,
Pick
wear
your
it,
swag,
whatever.
please. Yeah.
But if you're gonna wear it, make sure you can take it on and off pretty quickly. Oh, look at this. Oh, Bridget, bless your heart. Oh, you're rocking it. You're rocking it. Yes, yes. I love it. I love it.
You wear it. All right, everybody looking here.
Love it, love it, love it.
One more. Very cute.
Hi, can I do this?
Jacob, you do realize you've totally changed the dynamic of appreciation gifts moving forward. You have done that, ACHS.
Y'all get 11 toboggans next year.
Yeah. Another round of applause. Board Member Bowman, if you'll stay with me, we have some additional recognitions to make tonight. We are also recognizing 7 of the district's schools for meeting or exceeding growth on the state standardized test last year. State school performance grades are calculated with 20% based on how much growth the schools made, and then 80% based on the number of students who were proficient on the test. We saw impressive growth with a couple of schools not recognized tonight, but based on the state calculations, these are the ones who have earned a special honor, and they need to be recognized for their hard work. We're going to start with Alexander Early College. They exceeded academic growth, and they have made the score of an A. Congratulations. Dr. Dal Revis, how do you want to do picks? All together, or do you want to
So I would
separate
like to
them
get-
out?
For this particular one, I would like to get you and your staff, so
Mhm.
Yay, Mr. Bowman, you can be in since you were there. In I'll slide this way. And this one is actually graduation, correct? Achievement, yeah.
And they are an A school. Remember, every school gets a grade. Okay, great job. We had another school to exceed their growth. That was West Alexandra Middle School, and they were awarded a grade of a B. So Ms. Mayo is here, Ms. Houston is here, and we also invited Katie Nash because she was the principal serving the year that they tested and got these scores. So Jessica was the AP. Come on, come on. Stand in there together, principals. Here we go. This is a shared honor. Here we go. Another pick, another pick.
I'm sorry.
Round of applause. We had several schools to meet academic growth. We're going to start with Alexander Central High School. They also were given a grade of a B. Way to go, ACHS. And all the Mets, why don't we do them together? Yes. Mr. Lael, we're going to do all the schools that met together, okay? You get us lined up. You know what Dr. Dal Revis will expect.
I think we're good.
The next school to meet academic growth was Bethlehem Elementary School, also with a grade of a B. Next, we have Stony Point Elementary School. They met growth with a grade of a C.
Can we have over there?
Yes, absolutely. Sugarloaf Elementary School met growth with the grade of a B as well. And lastly, Wittenberg Elementary School, they met growth with the grade of a C. Congratulations.
Mr. Bowman, stand in for Ms. Lynn.
Sure, sure.
Ms. Lynn is,
Yes.
that's a good one. I feel like all right, look in here.
A round of applause.
Good job.
Good job. Mrs. Brown, if you and Ms. Markham would come back up, they are being recognized for a second honor. They received recognition and a certificate from the state for last year's graduation rate, which at the early college, it was 100%. But even more than that, each student who graduated from the early college this past year earned an associate's degree, and half of the students that earned that associate's degree earned 2 associate's degrees. So they left their high school experience with 2 associate's degrees, which is kind of unheard of. We had never, what was it, 17 to be exact? 17 students walked across the stage with 2 associates.
Wow.
Amazing.
Awesome.
And so a big round of applause. Congratulations. Keep it up.
Truly.
AEC. Okay, and then Board Member Robinson, if you'll help me with the last recognition. Thank you, Mr. Bowman. The last recognition is for Mandy Wiesand. She is an exceptional teacher, an exceptional children's teacher at Wittenberg Elementary School, and she was the district's EC Educator of Excellence. Ms. Wiesand was celebrated in the fall in Greensboro as the district's nominee. The award recipients are leaders whose dedication and service have improved the quality of education for exceptional children. Wittenberg Principal Melinda Glenn said Wiesand has the unique ability to connect with each and every one of her students. A colleague in the school said that she is quick to offer help, her expertise, and care for our children. She approaches every situation with a can-do spirit and smile. She goes above and beyond the call of duty. Mandy Wiesand, is she here? Okay. I talked to her last week when we had to postpone the meeting, but even though she's not here, let's give her a big round of applause. Thanks for being willing to help me. And then, Jessica, if I can get you to get the certificate to her. Thank you. All right. Thank you, board members.
Thank you. Just a commentary as a board member, not as chairman. Every one of our schools is truly demonstrating that the mantra "Children First" is not only just words but actions and being lived and executed. And it's impressive and it's rewarding to see such significant improvement taking place across the board, not just in one school but across the board in each and every one of them. And I just want to thank you and commend you all for your leadership and keeping our kids in focus and not only demonstrating excellence, but also showing our region what good looks like and how to take ourselves to that next level. So thank you all. So, any other comments?
I would like to just continue on what you said and kind of piggyback on board appreciation. I hate being recognized for Board Appreciation Month. It's the individuals that are working day in and day out to achieve these awards right here for this growth and academic excellence. It's what makes this a joy. It's not an easy task. It's something I don't take lightly. You can't hardly go anywhere that you're not approached with your family, even during family time, about somebody wanting to tell you something. And I don't want to say it's all bad. It constantly there's somebody's coming up to share positives and good things about our schools, but it's not a task that I take lightly. And the excellence that y'all are being recognized for, as well as Dr. Hefner said, even the ones that wasn't recognized made significant growth. And I see the sacrifices in my own home. I see the sacrifices my friends make that work day in and day out. And I appreciate what y'all do. And I don't like being recognized. I get it, it's School Board Appreciation Month, but we do what we do because of you. Amen. And the students of this county. So thank y'all for what you do every day.
Very well, thank you. So next point on the agenda is public comments. Do we have any individuals willing to make a public comment? No. So therefore, there is no public comment being made at this point. Next is the consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the board on the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
So we have first and a second. Any questions from any board members? Any comments? Very well. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. We move forward with an approval on the consent agenda. So next on our agenda are the reports. Mr. Palmer is going to be providing us with an update on Taylorsville Elementary School.
No.
They're all sitting here with bated breath, waiting to hear what you have to say.
That sounded like a ploy to me. Those of Mr. Palmer's colleagues, make sure that you give him a grade. Wasn't there like some competition going on? Chris Campbell, I think, started the grade. Okay. yes.
You're on the
Is it
clock.
style, content, and timeliness?
That's it. That's it.
Well, I thank you, Dr. Hefner,
Thank you.
Chairman Arguelles,
rest of the board members, and certainly the community that is here, and my colleagues that are here as well. I appreciate the opportunity to get to talk with you guys a little bit about Taylorsville. When I first came in here, I said, "Hey, Miss Robinson," and she said, "Oh, I'm just here to keep you straight." So I thought I had a fan club, but no, not necessarily. But everything at Taylorsville, as far as I can tell, it's just another amazing school here in this county. And I've been to a handful of them. I've been to West, Bethlehem, Ellendale, Stony Point, and Taylorsville now. And there's just hardworking, very dedicated people, and that is what I have found at Taylorsville. And there's a handful of them here, and it's just a good thing. It's a good thing to get around different places in the county and find the same thing, because we're all here for the kids' bottom line. Our pledgers, I apologize for that, maybe some miscommunication on my part. Those were wonderful kids, and certainly some of them needed to be recognized today. But I just figured with the cancellation and then the weather may be coming, I didn't want to try to aggravate them again. You could. Thank you. So I wanted to recognize, and really where do you start, but because everybody in the building needs some recognition, but I think if you are in the school system, if you are at a school level, and you're any kind of administrator, even a teacher, you start with your teacher assistants and your intervention folks. They are the ones that are making things happen on a daily basis. They are driving the buses, they are filling in for those classes, they are working with those kids one-on-one, and I'm not taking anything away from our teachers. Our teachers are amazing as well. But our TAs, whenever you need something, and I listed their names, our intervention and our TAs, whenever you need something, you can turn to one of them, and they get right on it, and they don't fuss and complain, certainly not maybe to me or maybe the teachers, but maybe behind our backs. But they're wonderful, wonderful, and I just would hope that if you see any of them in the community that you just thank them as well. We do a Taylorsville School Pledge. We do it, we read the whole thing on Fridays, and I read that line right there. I promise to do what is right, even when no one is watching on Mondays. It's just a good way to start. My favorite part on Fridays in the morning is when I get towards the end. I say, Cougars, let me hear you roar, and I don't even have to say roar. I can hear them from the kindergarten, first grade hall. It's coming up all the way to the office. I will tell you, it is not our teacher's favorite. but they do a great job, and it's just a really good way to start our Friday. I listed our school improvement plan. You see our 3 goals there: 95% for attendance. We're trying to cut back on discipline by 5%, our major and our minors, and then we would like to see an adequate year's worth of growth. So basically in iReady, you have your yearly growth, and then you have your stretch growth. Well, depending on where the child is, would depend on what kind of growth we want to see from them, but we're just pushing as hard as we can. And I don't have necessarily any of the results for that. We just did the kind of the mid already, so we should be getting those in the next week or two, crunching some numbers. But I can tell you for attendance, we're behind about 1.5 points. We're at 93.5 right now. December was tough. We had a lot of kids out, but now we're finding in January that parents are ready to get them back to us, and our attendance is certainly improving in January. So we're hoping to see that. We're offering just a ton of incentives to see maybe that go up a little bit. And our major and our minor, we have 19 offenses right now that are in the system. We had 92 last year, so if we stay on track, we'll be okay to meet that 5% reduction at the end of the year. Yeah, I think. Do some celebrating over at Taylorsville. It's some of the favorite stuff that I like to do, and we certainly don't do enough of it, but one of the things is our Cougar Walk, and the kids get so excited for this. So you can see where they're lined down the hallway. That would be the main hallway going towards our kindergarten and first grade, and they go down the steps and they line all that. This is all the other kids in the building. And our students that were selected for of the month, Safer Respect, they get to walk down, and they're high-fiving all of their friends as they're going down, and we play, of course we play We Will Rock You. And they absolutely love it, and they work for it. They do. It's a good incentive, and it's something that I'm glad was already in place. The U-Rock there in the middle, that is something that is given each month from a staff member to another staff member. So they get a little rock, and I know it doesn't sound, ooh, a rock, but it says you, and it's U-Rock, and they get the thing, the write-up that this other staff member did. And that's passed along. And then, if you guys know Glenn Eckert, Glenn Eckert got us a rocking chair. So if you see there, it's just highlighted by his company there, and he does a lot for the school system. But each month, you get the rocking chair in your classroom. So you rock, and then you get the rocking chair. So we pass that along each month, and it seems to be work. I look for it. It is my favorite thing in the faculty when the U-Rock is passed. And then we do bus riders of the week. We've had some issues on the bus. I'm not going to lie, they're interesting, and we have tried to put some incentives in place so that kids will work for it a little bit, and we recognize them weekly. We try to. We've been off the last week or two because of the number of days, but we're going to pick back up. They come down to my office, they get some candy, they get a little sticker, they hear their name over the announcements. Just some incentive, especially recognizing the kids that are doing what's right on the bus. Grants and our contest. So I am very impressed with the grants and the contests that are happening in Taylorsville. We actually, Ms. Cronin signed us up for a popsicle contest, and we won. So we got a $1,000 check, and we're in the running right now for $10,000. If we get 20, it's 20. $20,000 if we get selected. So it's a national contest, but you can see it was all the way from kindergarten all the way up to the highest grade level, and they had to construct something out of popsicle sticks. And then we sent the pictures to the company, and we were selected. We're already running in the final, so hopefully I'll be able to update you guys on that.
Yeah.
The Go Grant from Ms. Robinson, that was paid for almost our entire trip to Camp Thunderbird. I want to say the cost is somewhere around $50, maybe $75 is what they have left, and I could be wrong on that, but normally that'd be a couple $100. So wonderful grant there. And then we had the Education Foundation grant, of course, Ms. Ryan, that's from your foundation there, but Ms. Jacobs and Ms. Cronin put that together, and we received $500 incorporating the art into math class. One that I didn't list because I had submitted this to you guys that we got within the last week or two was from Pine Knolls. We have the aquarium actually coming from the coast. They're going to come in for the 4th and 5th grade. They're going to actually come to our school and do some demonstrations to our 4th and 5th grade, and it's called A Journey Through North Carolina. So I apologize for not putting it up there, but we just received that within the last two. Here's our boy right here. So I have to say thank you to Town of Taylorsville, Chief Millsaps, Sheriff Pennell, Dr. Hefner, the board. I think if this was a real group effort to get an SRO at Taylorsville. And if I left somebody off, then I certainly do apologize. But we didn't have one to start the year. And all these parts and pieces came together. And we got Deputy Adams, you can see him in the middle there, and we got him early on in the year, and I can't tell you how important it is to have that presence of an officer in your building, and to have that car parked out front. It is a huge deal, and I would say that would be where you would start with any school now, is with your SRO. But then we picked up a puppy too. So I put up there our SRD, our school resource dog. But no, he is not called that. His name is Otter, and they love him at our building. He was an old tracking dog, so he's got about 8 years in the system, and he basically retired out. what happened. And talk about a perfect fit. The kids love him, but it's not distracting either. So they come off the buses, Deputy Adams is waiting there, and it's all petting. And he's the calmest, nicest, most gentle dog, which is also a very good example for our students, for the dog, and then obviously certainly Deputy Adams. But you can see right there, he has fit right into Taylorsville, and actually kind of a bit of a celebrity, really, to be honest with you. But again, let me say thank you again to the folks that made it happen to get an SRO at Taylorsville. Big, big deal. So you can see down there on the left, that's our Cougar Care Squad. We had our high school, thank you, certainly to the high school. They have Coach Carter, for the most part, brought over our football team. I say football team, it's probably about 10 of them. And then partway through somewhere, we started getting the girls' basketball team to come as well. And these guys and they might as well be professional athletes to our kids. It is that big a deal for them to be in the building with their jerseys and just having conversations, reading to our kids, playing games with our kids. It is a huge deal, and I hope to keep the Care Squad over there for the remainder of my time. The CTE program from our high school, they came and they set up, and it's the agriculture, the business, the sciences, all the different ones that they're doing, but they came over to our school and set up for our fifth graders a demonstration of all these different areas that our CT program represents, and it was a huge hit. And I wish Ms. Hope was here to hear, but the students that they pulled to work with our kids did a fantastic job in the health department, in the agricultural side of it, and then right here, this is our industrial. That's what it was. They were swinging hammers. They had the drills. They had everything going, and it was just good to see them exposed to this at that age. So definitely kudos to Ms. Hoke and that CTE program and everything that they're doing. It's very successful, doing a great job. It's kind of changing the whole mindset, really, of our county, where, oh, you got to go to college, or, oh, you got to go to the military. No, you don't. No, you don't. There's lots of careers and lots of paths that you can pursue in our CTE programs. If you have not had a chance to work with Mrs. Esposito, she is phenomenal in our building and anywhere that I've ever worked with her, but she's integrating technology basically into our curriculum, and I'm kind of running on my time here, but you can see this is our, that's actually a kindergartner right there, and they are working with a bot, and they were programming that bot to pick out the different shapes that you see in front. So we got the curriculum, we got the bots, and they were working, they were actually programming those bots and working with them right there. And she brought in programs for our 4th and 5th grade. I won't get into any details there because I'm getting kind of down on time. But if you have not had an opportunity to work with Ms. Esposito, I would highly encourage you. And certainly if you see her, pat her on the back as well. We just can't do it without these guys. Our community support. I took a look at the list, and I wanted to make sure that the ones on the list were the ones that, since I've been there, I could tell you this is what they've done. So all of those folks right there, companies, have churches, have helped out just a ton. And if you get an opportunity to say thank you to somebody, these people are here, and I will put another plug in for Mr. Glenn Eckerd. He does a great job and really helps out our school. So that's Taylorsville from my perspective. Certainly, if you have any questions, I will do my best.
I just want to say thank you. Got several of your students visiting our church last year, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
I ask them about you and just really appreciate everything you're doing for them as young people, being that role model and leading them. And, some of them had some trouble on the bus, but they got through it. And,
We're working. We are
yeah,
working.
they're doing good. So
Yes.
thank you for all you've done for our children.
Thank you.
You mentioned the TAs driving the buses, and you mentioned the bus discipline and you recognize them and so forth, trying to improve in that area. Is it still practice to utilize, are you utilizing monitors like are any of them riding along? Do you still do that at all?
We do.
You do?
Absolutely.
Is it TAs or teachers that are doing that?
It's kind of a mix, myself included.
Okay.
So anybody who's willing to ride a bus, we'll put them on there.
And you also, your bus also goes to the middle school.
Yes.
So do you also get that support at the middle school? Do you have riders that'll jump on at the middle school when sometimes?
What we try to do, because everybody's stretched so thin, is we try to cover the buses that are at our school. So the 2 buses that I have, we try to, if there's an issue, we try to get somebody on there to ride along. And usually the morning routes are pretty peaceful. It's the afternoon routes. They've been cooped up for 8 hours or so, and they're ready to cut loose. And unfortunately, they do a little bit on our buses. But we monitor the buses that are at our school. Basically, really for logistics. I mean, they got to come back to our school and then get in the car and head home. So if they were from east, it'd be a little more difficult.
Okay. I'm glad to see you recognize the sheriff's department and town police for resources. I think that's something we need to continually brag on. It is nice to see when we're around the schools to see the resource officers. As a parent, when you're dropping off, picking up, seeing that resource officer out there. And, that took a huge effort. A lot of folks. A lot of commitment from a lot of different groups. I know our county commissioners are involved, school system involved. There was grants involved. Sheriff Pennell, Chief Millsaps. That needs to be continued to be applauded for that, because it is been needed for a long time, and I'm grateful for it.
I could not agree anymore. It just makes all the difference in the world, even in the back of my mind, when I know that there's a resource officer at my school.
Yep.
It's just comforting. It is.
And I'm looking at the back of the room. That all started with my team writing a grant. And for whatever reason, it's still a grant writing process. So I thank my team for putting that together, because I will assure you, every unwritten grant is never funded.
That's right.
That's right.
And I knew I had left some off.
No.
But
No.
yeah, I am thankful.
It takes a team, as it does with everything we do.
Everybody good?
Good
Great job.
Thank you. Great job.
You can show your scorecards to Mr. Palmer. You won't need to hold those up or anything to tell him how he did.
Oh, they're already texting.
Oh, gotta love it.
75.
Gotta love it.
Very well. Next on the agenda are committee reports from the Board of Education. Any committee updates from any? Very well. Next is the superintendent's report. Dr. Hefner.
Thank you, Chairman Arguelles. You had a copy of the December data sheet in the agenda, but that was changed slightly. We realized that we had one school that had not reported staff absences, and so under staff absence percentage or attendance, it changed from like an 89.5 to 90% in attendance. So the hard copy that I just gave you is the correct one. You'll see student attendance was down slightly for the reporting period. This period was October 25th through November 27th. And as Mr. Palmer alluded, the month of December, we were hit pretty hard, students and staff, with a variety of illnesses, especially type A flu is the thing that I heard the most. But you just keep in mind that at different times of the year we see that. The state collects student attendance in 20-day increments So this was the third grouping of 20-day periods. For staff attendance, the average across the district was 90%. That means that certified staff, they were in place for 90% of the student days. And the thing I think that I'm most excited about is the highlight given to the community and parent survey. As all of you know, if you went to our website, you also received phone calls about this, but we were trying to collect information to build our family academy. The Research Institute group leader had advised Andrea Robinette and Dr. Dow Revis that if we received 100 responses from parents and 100 from staff, that would be a very good goal to have.
Okay.
And as you see, we exceeded that in both groups. We had 407 parents and community members to respond to the survey, and then we had 202 staff members. So I'm really, really proud of exceeding that goal. The next step will be for the team to meet with focus groups at each school to dig into the feedback a little bit more and start planning the content with the steering committee. And if you will recall, the steering committee is made up of counselors, social workers, teachers, and parents. So more to come about our family academy, but I am super jazzed about that. Bullet number 2, I still have not heard back from the Department of Public Instruction about the capacity study that I requested. I am planning to move forward this week with one of the architectural firms that we use in order to get capacity numbers for each building. I want those numbers to be exact, and the reason is, of course, for the future budget conversations. And then lastly, I'm planning to schedule a meeting with the facilities chair and Senator Eddie Settle to discuss the stadium plans and the funding that was earmarked for the stadium after February 6th. So do you have any questions about my report or any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Very well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the update. And this one-pager December report that you're providing is exceptional. It gives a very clear view of what's going on here within our school systems.
And if you notice on enrollment, we lost about 25 children. That's really not unusual because we have a lot of transitions that take place at the end of the semester. So my hope is that during the month of January, we gain some numbers back as far as student enrollment numbers.
Very well. Next on the agenda is unfinished business. Our CFO, Ms. Sharon Mahaffey, is going to be presenting to us proposed Board of Education policy revision.
I bring back policy 6315, drivers, for the third reading, and would ask for your approval of this policy.
Move to approve.
Second.
So we have a move to approve and a second. Any questions or concerns or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Policy is approved.
We have 3 policies up for first reading tonight: student staff relations, immunizations and health requirements for school admission, and child abuse and related threats to child safety. We even talked about these in our administrators meeting this morning. I'll get any input and bring them back next month for the second reading.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion to move forward and bring this back in February? Yes, no?
I'll move to approve. I didn't.
Yeah, that was just something we agreed upon. We didn't typically take action, but it won't, if you want to take action that everybody's in agreement, that's okay too.
I think so, just so we have a record
Motion.
that we're moving forward.
Okay.
Second.
Any questions or concerns about moving this forward to February? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Very well. The ayes have it. We move forward. Next on the agenda are Board of Education committee assignments. As we will see, that have been published inside our website. We have a number of committees that have all been reassigned. The Award of Honor, Mr. Reese, will be the chair with Josh Degenhart. On the board liaison to the Boosters Club, Scott Bowman and Josh Dagenhart. Board liaison to the commissioners for legislative communications and coordination, it'll be myself, Robert Guayas, and Anthony McLean. Budget committee, Josh Dagenhart will be our chair. I will be a participant as well as Mr. Matthew Reese. Calendar committee, I will be a part of that as well as Mr. Anthony McLean. Census, Ms. Ryan and Ramey Robinson. Education Foundation, Ms. Ryan and Ramey Robinson. Facilities Committee, Scott Bowman will continue to be the chair with Josh Dagenhart and Ramey Robinson participating as well. Head Start, Matthew Reese and Ramey Robinson. Policy Committee, Bridget Ryan will be the chair. Myself, Robert Guayas, and Josh Dagenhart will participate in that committee. School Health Advisory Council, Scott Bowman, Anthony McLean, and Ramey Robinson will participate in that committee. Student Success Center, Matthew Reese is the chair, Anthony McLean. Teacher of the Year, Matthew Reese and Ms. Ryan, Bridget. And Transportation, Scott Bowman is the chair. Myself, Robert Guayas, and Anthony McLean will participate. As always, the board chair serves as an ex officio member on any committee as necessary and as requested by members of the committee. Well, I think that concludes all of our open session agenda items as we go forward. Do we have a motion to close the open session of the board meeting?
So moved. Second.
Do we have a first and a second? Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We move forward. Thank you all very much for your time. The open session of the board meeting is now closed. We will be moving forward to closed session.
There are posters all